guys, this is Adam or Neath or whatever you want to refer to me as. Today I kind of just wanted to do like a video of Shadowlands, and kind of discussing how I feel about it and personally what my expectations are. So not everything in this video is going to be concrete, and it's not going to be like a definitive vision of the game and how it is going to be. It's basically just going to be what I'd like to see, and possibly talk about a couple of things that I might not like. I don't know specifically what I might not like as of yet, 'cause it's still very early doors, but I have a couple of concerns that could definitely be in for the picking, and hopefully Blizzard have kind of learned from, because they are past mistakes as well. So moving on into the point, um, the lore and story of this is that Sylvanas has taken to the Ice Crown Citadel to basically confront Bolvar, in which we all know by now she gets absolutely, like, she just absolutely starts ripping on the guy, and unfortunately he just doesn't have an answer for it. He gets tethered down like a little man, and yeah, he technically just loses the fight. Sylvanas takes the helmet off, shatters it, and she opens that big glass roof up to the Shadowlands. So that's basically covering what she's kind of done. But to me, like, going back to BFA, if N'Zoth is dead and that's it, like, he's done. I'm a bit disappointed, because it's a proper waste of a villain they could have had a whole expansion out of that wasn't BFA. I don't know if it kind of puts the rumours to bed about our Black Empire expansion, but for now we've got Shadowlands to be excited about, and maybe the Maw could have something to do with that. But yeah, so as it stands, Sylvanas has gone and booked Bolvar. She's opened up the Shadowlands, and as always, we've got to go in there and sort it out. So just to discuss the actual game of Shadowlands, we've been introduced to the zones, which we know now are Maldraxxus, which contains one of the best aesthetic gear pieces that I've seen in a while. It looks very Northerndy. It looks kind of like a bit like Dragonblight mixed with Ice Crown, so that's a nice looking zone, to be fair. Ardenwald, it's a very nice zone. It's not my cup of tea. Kind of looks a bit like, I can't even remember the comparison I was kind of going for with it, to be fair. It was like a Val'sharah zone mixed with something else, which will probably come back to me later on. But it's a very nice zone. It looks like a very nice zone, but nature zones have never kind of been my thing, so I can't really say that it's something I'm overly excited about, considering that I don't really take to that kind of surrounding. Like, I like it to be quite dark. So then you have Revendreth, who again have a really nice armor set with their Covenant. It's very vampire themed, and you can tell by that, like, blood princes and stuff like that. And Ian even said himself, like, they basically took to the office and he went, yeah, please can you just make me Dracula's castle and put it in World of Warcraft. And to me that's got me quite excited, because I really do like that aesthetic of it. I think that is probably the best looking zone out of the lot so far. Like, I am really excited for that. And we also have Bastion, which is not a terrible looking zone, but it's not like the best looking zone either. Like, it is early days, and I understand that, but to me it's not the best looking, because to me the theme of this expansion should mostly be about how dark it is, and how, it has really dark undertones to it, you know what I mean? So it really needs to kind of speak out as such. But we're going into this place and we're finding this beautiful established, area. It's just, I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. It is a nice looking zone, and the Covenant set looks really fantastic, but to me it's just not, like, it's not my favourite. I much prefer Maldraxxus so far, and Revendreth even is definitely so far my favourite of the bunch. Absolutely easy pickings, no way. So if we take a little launch as well into, like, gameplay mechanics, it's another one of them things where it's kind of, we are going to be losing out at the end of the expansion. Like, obviously we're getting rid of the the Azerite traits, which for a lot of classes, it brings a lot of niche to certain classes, such as the artifacts did in Legion. And it's not necessarily a bad thing that we're going to be losing out on it. Like, it might make the field game a bit more clunky, is what I'm saying. So we're not going to have them as right traits anymore, but apparently we are going to have abilities from each covenant, I think, to level with, and then we have some abilities from the top level that we get to. So we go from 50 to 60, which also the level squish is a massive thing. Like, it's also a beautiful thing. I'm going to be leveling in Northern End and then in Cataclysm most likely. But personally, I think with the changes coming and not really knowing what's going to substitute the Azerite powers, like, I'm kind of concerned that will it make the game feel clunky again? Will it give classes like a less niche? I don't know how to put it really. Like, sort of, will it be detrimental to a class like it was with, say, Guardian Druids losing their Rage of the Sleeper, which was massive. You could definitely tell we took a massive hit going into Legion. I mean, BFA. But I suppose on the plus side with it as well, there are some returning abilities that we've been talking about, and that could quite possibly make up for a lot of the shortcomings that BFA had when it came to losing out on the artifacts and Legion, and how slow the progression was to start feeling powerful again. So they're going to be getting rid of these artifact powers by the looks of it, but on the plus side it means there is no more artifact power grinds, which I think either that or the Mythic Plus chest announcements got like the biggest cheers when I was watching the whole thing. It was just insane to see how many people actually do not like the artifact power grind, and a lot of the people as well like refer it to Classic, saying Classic was more of a grind, but it's like Classic actually felt like it meant something. Like, if you were grinding for something, you got something at the end of it that made it feel worth it. You weren't just grinding the same thing for a couple of extra points or an extra action button. You know what I mean? It was special back then. So again, going back to the gear models, which I'll just bring them all up again. And I have to say, the Maldraxxus is definitely my favourite, followed by a close second, Redendreth. Then the Bastion set is quite nice also. I'm not too sure on the Adam Wald one. I'll have to see it on other characters to judge, but I'm not too sure how I feel about that one. But it feels like in this expansion already, with what we've been shown, like the little amount that we have been shown, that they are taking it more seriously, and they are taking note of the fact that a lot of the raid sets that they've been coming out with in recent years have definitely been lazy, and it's kind of like it's not even like subtle laziness. It's just sheer dependence on the transmogrification system that we have in game for people to look how we want. To them it might seem like, oh, they're only changing the appearance of the gear we design anyway, so why should we make an effort? Well, it's like, you should always make an effort. So to see that the gear models actually starting to look promising again, and they actually have different customizations like you saw with the wings and stuff like that, it brings a whole new flair back to the game that I think gets everybody really excited. And personally, I'm really excited also for this, because to me it needs to be perfect, and like Taliesin and people like that have said, it needs to be WoW's perfect reset, where if it's not and they botch this, I feel like it could go downhill very fast. But like even the changes where, like, if you're a Mythic Plus like person and you get your weekly chest, rather than just getting a box of disappointment as they put it, you actually get options for what you want, and you could choose the best role on that options board for you, and there could be something extra that if none of them you want, you could get something else, which I'm not too sure about that last bit, but the rest of it, that sounds absolutely brilliant, because the amount of times we've all done mythics and we've gotten to the chest at the end of the week and we've been massively disappointed, like how many times, it's just not good, and we need to kind of bring it past that. Although it was like a first thing, like with the Legion Order halls and stuff like that, it's time they advanced it, and it's time that they kind of gave back to the player in a way that we're putting the time in. We may as well get something that we want out of it, and I think that's brilliant. So the raid which I'm mainly a raider. The raid sounds really cool because they just want Dracula's castle, and I can't help like but look forward to that and want to see more about it. Although I still want to see Nyalotha and I want to be N'Zoth, but it's kind of got me really excited for the next expansion already. All this stuff, because it does seem like WoW is going to be having like a proper reset, and it might actually, like, even watching the panels, if you wanted to go watch the panels, I'm sure there's stuff on YouTube. This is just a brief overview of what I believe and what I think. They're bringing stuff that complements the old game and bringing it to the current game without making it like too old. They're kind of modernising it, but it is an effort and a step in the right direction, like such as class abilities coming back. It's gonna be a massive thing. Like if you get a niche layer, if you shamans get your totems back, then that's gonna be fantastic. And I might even re-roll Shami, because I really enjoyed Shami back in the day. How I think this expansion's lore is going to go just talk speculatively. I think we're going to go into this expansion and we're going to obviously have a lot of things to deal with, and I feel like we're going to learn more and more about the maw. Brilliant. But I think we're going to learn more and more about that going through each zone, as well as like the niches and stuff like that. So I can't wait to see what the story is behind these zones. I think they will be brilliant. But as far as like deep speculation for the expansion, I believe that we're going to fight Sylvanas and the Jailer in the second raid, and then I think we're going to try. Well, we might even fight Sylvanas in the second raid, and the Jailer might be like sort of last boss kind of thing. But at the end of this expansion, I see like the evil souls getting out of the maw somehow, and actually getting to enact on a final vision. I don't know if this is the last expansion she'll be in. I kind of hope it is, just because she killed my favourite guy. But other than that, it's very much a situation of I just can't wait to get in and see for myself. I don't have vast ideas for what the lore is going to be like in this next expansion, but I do have like kind of hopes, and I hope it kind of leads to the old gods coming out of that maw and releasing the Black Empire. But that's very distant as far as like the game goes. Like this expansion hasn't even concluded yet on live servers, so I'm not going to jump into it too far. Maybe more stories from the game will actually help with that. But anywho, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment, or maybe even subscribe if you want to see more. Hopefully I'm going to be covering more Shadowlands content, and hopefully I'm going to be covering some more stuff when Nyalotha comes out, and discussing a few more bits and bobs with you guys, and just posting some out, like some funny videos. I don't know. I'm just going to try and enjoy YouTube for now. But for now, guys, it's been Adam or Neath, whatever you want to say, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you very much. Bye now.